What's up?
Hi. We're tired. We went to Universal yesterday, and
Yeah.
Maddie didn't get a nap on the studio tour like I did.
Alexandros, every time we go a lot because we're pass holders, and every time we're on the studio tour, Alexandros is like this. And I'm over there like having the time of my life. I love the studio tour.
Wait, do you guys have the super duper passes where you can do all the backstage stuff?
No.
I'm
poor.
I just have the silver pass.
I get free parking. That's the best.
I don't even have that. Well, because I always go with you guys, so I didn't get
I
parking.
just got that one because I was like, I want a discount on food.
Oh yeah, I don't even get
parking.
that. I don't even get a discount on food. Tay bought my food for me so that I could Venmo and get a discount. Oh, anyways, yeah, we're a bit sleepy.
We're all over the place. And I finished this book a few days ago, so I was so ahead of schedule this time.
I
was
finished
surprised.
it this morning. Well, I was
Blood of Hercules.
Blood of Hercules by
Today's
Jasmine
episode.
Mas.
Blood of Hercules.
Her. To defend myself, I did finish it this morning. However, I was going to finish it last night, but I was so exhausted that I passed out as I was trying to.
And that happens sometimes.
And that happens sometimes.
Did you feel like how Alexis felt in this book every single time she was
when she's like,
there is,
yes, that was literally me. Like, you know, when your eyes start rolling back and you're like trying to read, but it's just random words every so often.
the eye roll back, you can't fight it at that point.
No.
Your eyes are already doing the.
And I was trying to fight it for like 10 minutes, and then I was like, okay, I can't. I gotta
It's
just
over.
wake up early and finish it. Anyways.
Well, we hope you guys are doing good.
Yeah.
We're excited for this one. This actually hasn't really been published yet. Has it officially?
Well, it's been published on Kindle Unlimited for a while.
Okay.
So it's been on there, but then now it's getting traditionally published and is releasing on the 26th.
I think that's right.
Yes.
Because the process
ahead
for
of the
me
curve.
reading this has been a bit of a process through my own actions and consequences. I ordered the audiobook. on
Oh,
Audible,
yeah.
And it was like pre-order November 6th. And I was like, absolutely. It was like November 4th when I did it. And I was like, it'll drop November 6th. No, that was a reserve to pre-order it starting November 6th. What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing that you can pre-order a pre-order? That felt intentionally misleading.
That's really bizarre.
So
actually.
I'll be really excited to listen to the audiobook that I bought.
But you can't say
after
anything
this
too
point.
bad because I'm pretty sure this is like from HarperCollins. So we have to be like, yeah, because they're our
super
friends.
nice. No, yeah. It's good. I'm just saying I should have read what it said.
And okay, so Alexandros chose this one.
Yeah.
Hello, Greek. Hello,
Absolutely.
It's the whole thing.
Blood of Hercules, that's
and
literally
so
me.
we were talking about what to do, and he's like, "Oh, we can do Blood of Hercules," and I was like, "Yeah, sure, so, okay, down." And then like last week, we realized what we had done, and that it's not fully out and only on Kindle Unlimited, and whatever the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, should we maybe like think about doing something else?" I was like, "Sir, you're the one who said we should."
This was all your idea. I
said, I'm already halfway through, so we're gonna do it or not.
Yeah.
Or not.
Then I ended up finishing it before you. So
I know that's a plot twist and a half.
I got so invested in this so
did
quickly.
I. And it was an easy read.
It was a really
fun.
easy read, in like a good way.
Yes,
Yeah.
in a lovely way.
What are your overall impressions about how you felt about it?
My overall impressions are that the writing was hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Love. I saw someone say on TikTok. I looked it up as soon as I finished it to see what people were saying.
Yeah.
And someone said that they thought that the writing was too Wattpad and like not in a fun way. And I disagree. I thought it was so fun. I was cackling.
I thought it was Wattpad in the best way.
Yes, and I think maybe it's because it kind of sounded like the way I talk. And so I was like, yes!
Like, I wrote this.
I was like, Alexis and I would be besties.
All right, wait. So for those of us who don't understand the slang, what is Wattpad?
Trust me, the people watching this know.
The people,
Wattpad.
yeah, the people.
Well, okay, so let your producer know then.
Yeah. Alexandros?
It's for lack of a better definition, it's like a fanfic website similar to Archive of Our Own.
/app.
/app, yeah. It's where you can just kind of go on and post your own little stories. And
Yeah.
whatnot.
So
Gotcha.
That's what it's
Okay.
primarily used for.
when I was in high school, I was checking my Wattpad app daily to see if they had updated a new chapter for After.
I knew you were going to say After.
Because that was my first fan fiction and my first introduction into Wattpad. And I remember when my friend told me about it and I downloaded Wattpad, I was like, what the heck is all of this? Because you scroll through those things and you're this is absolutely bonkers city.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it led me to where I am today. So all love and light and joy.
And yeah, it was actually the writing style that made me like this a lot more than like I was liking it like at the start, if that makes sense. Like,
Yes.
so I started and I was like, all right, I'm down for it. A lot of exposition. Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? And I even told you, like, when she was like 10 and like she was narrating to herself of like all her like musical outfits.
Okay,
and stuff
which
like that.
that the way that came in later. Do you remember?
How did it come in later? What?
Delicious doll.
What?
We'll get to it though later. But
Did she end up banging Carl Gauss and I didn't notice?
no, the music the whole time wasn't her. Did you miss it? Did you miss this? Because remember when during the fight scene, there's like you said, there was the like music happening, and she thought that it was all in her head. It wasn't.
What was it?
It was Charon. Caron.
Paran?
Yeah, he was there. It was him.
He was watching at that point?
He was there, bro. Did you read this book?
He wasn't there.
It was him who was playing the music.
Well, she was 10 getting the crap
Yes.
beaten out of her by her mom?
Yes. She was like, and I realized it was him. He doesn't believe me, but I read it this morning.
I don't
so.
think so.
Yes.
I think this is the one time I'm going to be like, I didn't miss that. I think you're just wrong.
I'm not wrong. It was literally part of it. Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, you got to go and find your sources.
You talk for a second.
All right.
You started. Go through.
All the little sides where she was just like in her head and she's like, somebody hit their head against the wall. Anyway, as I rubbed the bruise on my head, I kept laughing at that. I'm like, oh my God, who was that? Anyways, now that my nose is bleeding. And
I'm looking.
yeah, just the through like that. Should we just start from the beginning then and start working our way through the parts that
Start from
that
the
stood out to us? Yeah.
Start from the beginning as I look through my notes.
From the get-go, as I was saying, it took me a minute just to wrap my head around what was going on. I had to reread the first couple chapters because it starts off with all that exposition again.
Yeah.
How the world works.
Which I push this way. Which I didn't think was like I didn't think it was too like lore droppy in a way that was like too much.
No, I didn't.
I thought that she did a good job of interweaving it with like the humor and the like fun and what's currently happening.
It was better than when the moon hatched for their initial exposition for just how I felt because I think we understand our world a little bit better.
Yeah.
So it was easier to pick up on what was being changed about it.
Yeah.
As opposed to a whole new thing.
Okay,
Like, and there are moons in the sky.
I found it.
You found it? Hear me.
Yes. This is on page 355. Well, also this is a so I don't know how many pages are actually in this book. So okay.
It's whatever it is on this iPad.
Yeah, this is on this iPad. That's what this is. Okay. So is it Charon or Charon?
I would say Charon.
Charon? Okay, Charon stalked across the room toward me, death in his eyes. He shoved away a naked Spartan male who approached. Then he did the same to a Siren. Oh my God, he's the pianist. Why was everyone trying to get to him and not away from him? It hit me. After the massacre at Corfu, I'd thought I'd hallucinated piano music, but it had been real. Charon had been playing in the house.
Yes.
Oh.
But that's not from when she was getting her head beaten.
But then where did that music come from?
I think she just likes music. I think she just likes music and she's a big fan.
So we were both right.
No.
Say yes or else.
No, I'm standing my ground on this one that I was right for once. And
which one's
that's
the
it.
massacre at Corfu? Corfu. What's that?
I think it's when they go and they
That's
kill
one thing
the
though.
photographers that are chasing them down because their island's on Corfu, right? Right? Isn't it? Guys, I promise we read this book.
But I was just about to say, sometimes like the places, I was like, wait, hold on. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait, what are we talking about?
All right. I'm
Are
looking
you
up
getting it? Are you looking
Karen.
at it?
All right.
Karen.
Yeah.
That was also funny. What are you looking it up on? Are you Googling?
Yeah, I'm trying to see like how it's how they want us to pronounce Charon because I always say Charon personally, and Karen kind
Well-
of ruined that for me.
Work. Can I also say that her name, Alexis, did throw me off?
I think Charon is how it's
Charon?
supposed to be pronounced.
Okay,
Yeah.
Charon.
Charon maybe.
Um,
Charon.
okay, should we get back to it?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah.
We are going to be all over the place.
I'm trying to keep this straight. So also her name
Pretty
being
gay for
Alexis
all things
being in
considered, too.
enough. Also her name being Alexis and being in rural Montana did absolutely shake me to my core.
Why?
Because I was like, what the fuck?
What's your name, Alexis?
I was like, yes, because I was like, I think I thought that it was going to be a completely different world. And so as soon as I was like, oh,
It's Montana.
we're in Montana, I was like, okay, work.
It doesn't get worse than this. I'm just kidding, Montana fans. I'm just kidding.
Montana fans, that's crazy. And she was homeless with her brother. Her like,
Yeah.
and she was like abused by their foster parents. That shit was kind of fucking crazy.
That was what I got so confused by the bathtub juice that they were talking about until I figured out, oh, her parents are meth heads. Good to know. Good to know. Like they're just all over the place. Because like, what are they? I thought it was like much more fantasy than it was. I was the same mindset.
Yes.
So I'm like, they're brewing something in the bathtub. Interesting.
They're brewing. Oh,
it's just drugs. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. It's just bleach. All right. Cool.
I also loved the whole like thing of because it takes place in like 2080s, so in the future, and it's like the fall of civilization has fallen, and they're like the gods and the like the Olympians and the Spartans, and like I thought that was also cool.
I liked all that.
Yeah.
I mentioned this to you yesterday, but I hate parallel thinking because something that I've been like outlining.
Can you explain that?
What do you mean?
Parallel thinking.
No ideas are original. Two people can come to the same like conclusion independently of one another.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So like,
oh, you're saying that you and the author came to the
came to like a very similar like world building thing.
I see.
And so now I'm debating like, all right, what am I changing up about like?
Yeah.
Because I've been writing something that involves a lot of mythology stuff in the modern world.
Oh, and it's giving.
And it was starting in like I was literally thinking like 2100s or something like that, and I was like, God dang it!
Oh my god, that's so funny. That's
crap. Well, back to the drawing board. If someone else already did it,
that's so funny. Also, I love her little snake friend Nyx.
Yeah.
So like when she's young, you know, she gets that snake.
Finds a little invisible snake and is
yes,
like, hey girl, what's
which
up?
I was confused about that. I was like, wait, huh?
Yeah, you were like, can nobody see this fucking snake?
I know. I missed the part where it was invisible. It can turn invisible. I was like, wait, huh? Oh, also when she's young, she gets her like she becomes deaf and blind in one of her eyes and ears.
I love
That
heterochromia
sucks.
so much.
Yes.
Not to be blind in one eye, but like I just think that's a
It's
cool,
so cool
aesthetic.
Yeah, and also the fact that like that's what who has it?
Zeus
has
white eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're like,
that's so wild.
That's you.
Mhm.
And she's like, no, I'm just
Yeah.
blind in this eye.
So she's like, you know, it's kind of giving Percy Jackson, where she's like living her life, and she doesn't have any idea. Like she knows something's kind of weird, but she's like just homeless, trying to survive with her little brother.
The human world, I feel, didn't really make a lot of sense to me with what was going on there. So once they get to the not the Titans, the Spartans and everything in that whole arena thing, that's when I'm like, oh, okay, now the plot's starting. Cool,
Right.
Cool.
So like shit hits the fan.
I do like, just going back a little bit, when her mom gets quote unquote killed by a Titan, or so they think, until we later find out that like, you know, it's her blood.
That was so
stuff
cool.
like that.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh god, a Titan, he broke in, blah 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 blah. And then like the police are interrogating Alexis, little 10-year-old.
Mhm.
They're just like, did a Titan break in? And she just goes and goes, father killed mom. And I was like, go off. All right.
Like, I'm so scarred. Hello.
Yeah.
Also, I
father
think
killed her.
this book too was funny in the way that everyone's like saying stuff for her, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it's so funny every single time somebody whispers something into her deaf ear that she can't hear.
She's like, oh.
Augustus does that every other page.
Yes.
He just goes, let me tell you something.
It's like, and I don't know what he said.
You can't hear anything. She's deaf in that ear. And she's like, I should probably tell him I'm deaf in that ear, but all right. And then he's like, why is she not listening? I'm like, bro, go to the other ear for the love of God.
But she won't tell anybody that she has that.
I know. But it's just one of those you're just like, ugh.
I love also the way the humans are really invested in all of them.
Yeah.
In the like, what do they call them? The,
Spartan
like,
chasers.
Spartans.
Or something like
Yeah.
that.
With like Achilles and Patroclus, and they're like, oh, they're so hot, whatever. And they're like watching them. I thought that was so fun.
Oh my God. This is great. This is just a line I saved from her high school life,
saved a lot
I guess.
of line. Mm-hmm.
Who cares if Sarah cheated on Bethany with Eric and that they did butt stuff? And like, I just immediately paused and was like, I mean, I wouldn't say I care, but I'm kind of invested in that now. What's going on with Eric and Bethany? Hold on.
So funny. No, I'm so obsessed.
Like, can we go back to that before we get back to this 6'7", 290 pounds man,
Crazy.
Achilles? She gives his stats.
Yeah, we get the
all
stats.
of them, and I just have to double take.
I know you texted me and you're like, what?
I wrote, I was not familiar with your game, Achilles. My apologies.
Yeah.
I didn't know how okay I was gonna have to be.
It's so insane. I'm looking at all of the stuff that I highlighted, and boy,
then,
is there a lot.
Unfortunately, just because of the meme that I made the other day of like girls that are like 19 to 24 or something like that have
Yeah.
probably never showered in their lives. She's 19. She's never showered in her life. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, good to know that's still staying consistent.
Oh, of course.
That meme's never going to become dated. I'm
No,
glad.
always. This book isn't even out yet. I mean, it is kind of, and that's still happening.
It's still going on.
I'm so obsessed.
The Spartan fanfiction universe that she mentions.
Oh, it's so us
Very good.
coded.
What was their story about the first time that she saw a penis? What was that? Do you remember what she was talking about? Like, yeah, I went and looked it up, and then I went back and looked at it again. A little bit more.
She's so funny.
Is that? I have to ask you this because I've never had this discovery moment.
I'm
in my
scared.
life.
Okay.
What were your first initial thoughts the first time that you saw one?
I think icky. No? Like, why does it have to be that? Do you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
All this and for what?
That's been consistently the answer that I've not. No, wait. This is something I've heard in my many conversations with women over the. Oh, you messing with the mic?
It fell a little bit, but I think we're okay.
You smacked it. All right.
Jail.
Okay,
I've
sorry.
spent too much time with you in the past 24
You are.
hours.
I'm sorry.
Dear God. No, that is so funny. I love. That's what I'm saying. Like, I love her snarkiness.
Yeah, it was so silly.
Yes.
And not serious, and I was just liking it. I was like, okay, this is a fun read.
Like we consistently say that we love things that are not taking themselves too serious.
And speaking of penises, someone got their penis shot in the library. There's like, oh yeah, the librarian just did that because he was hooking up with someone else in the library, and I was like, as if men needed another reason to fear reading. All right, there we go.
Crazy. Wait, can you remind me, because
Yes.
lived many lives since I read it. What?
This morning.
No, I read this like 2 weeks or a while back. Why did they attack the school? Why did they get her? What happened? Why did they?
Because
I
she's
can't
taking a
remember.
test to enter like the
Oh, yes,
college
in her
that's for
blood.
Spartans. Yeah.
And it bubbles.
It bubbles and burns everything up.
And they're
Yeah,
like, what the fuck is happening here? But they can't test it and figure out her family because yes, I remember now. Sorry, I got there.
yeah, so she has to put her blood in like 2 little bubbles just to make sure that she's not, an Olympian, a Spartan or a creature. And
then there's the
Yeah.
chthonics.
the chthonic.
Chthonic.
I say chthonic, yeah.
I say chthonic.
I say chthonic. You know what?
I live.
I wrote this in all caps when they were starting about talking about how ancient Greece was the start of this, and I was like, "Hoorah! Let's go Greece!" and like the equivalent of like an eagle screech for whatever Greece's eagle would be. They have eagles. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bald eagles. Their eagles have hair. Take that, America. Our
Also-
eagles have hair.
Just about our eagles have hair.
Yeah, they're not
Crazy.
bald.
Then for like the later books, I'm excited to see like more about the Titans' like power, because
Yeah, they're kind of.
it said a single Titan can destroy an entire city if it wanted to. What do you mean? I want to know. and
I think
wanna
it's because
see.
nobody can kill them except for a Spartan, essentially. Like nobody can
Mm,
stand against them because normal
Right.
weapons don't work. You need Spartan weapons and stuff. I thought the imagery of like they dropped an atomic bomb on one of them one time
Yeah,
and it just walked out of the wreckage.
crazy.
I was like, hot.
oh, I love it.
That was good. So there's a lot of cool stuff that I'm really interested to see in a year.
I know.
All right, guys.
Ugh.
Start writing books faster, everyone. That's it. It's time. I'm tired of waiting
Yeah,
a year. I didn't know this one wasn't even out yet. Technically,
I know this is all our fault.
I thought the second one would be coming out soon. Nope,
Yeah.
next year.
Mhm.
Next year.
Rest in peace, us.
We don't get
so then
anything.
Miss Girl gets plucked and is basically,
Plucked, quite literally.
yeah, basically she has to go do the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
kind of.
She's gonna do her Hunger Games
yeah.
or whatever is going on.
She's an
in-
initiate in the Spartan War Academy.
Sure.
I literally got it right here, which is crazy. Oh,
I think
And
this
Miss
was
Diva's like,
done
"How did I
just so
end up
that the professor kink could get out there.
do
know
you
what
think
I mean?
that really?
I genuinely think that. I think there's no other reason for Augustus to be called professor so many times unless that's something
It's for
that they're
that.
into. And that's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay.
So she's
I'm just
thrown-
calling them out on it.
So she's thrown in there with like a few other. She's the only girl, and it's like a big deal that there's a girl with like Spartan blood, right? Like it's a big.
Mostly because girls are like treasured and they're always like brought in as heiresses. I think.
And they're not born often, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that part of it too. So it's like
So
a big
They're
deal.
like, it doesn't matter if she's like
and they're like,
a mutt,
"Who are you?"
she would have to, yeah.
yeah,
Come on. She would have to be taken in and treasured. So whoever dropped her off, ooh, they're gonna be in trouble.
it's bound to be something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not okay.
Mm-hmm. crazy. So she goes there. She goes to the Spartan War Academy, and her trainers or whatever
Patroclus and
are
Achilles, yeah.
yes, Patroclus and Achilles. Which I'm like, first of all, why is everybody so fucking mad immediately? You know what I'm
'Cause
saying?
Honestly, I think they're just mad that she's a woman.
I'm like,
They just consistently are like women. And
I
I'm
mean,
like,
like
whoa.
Achilles doesn't speak, but like,
He thinks it.
Patroclus, why are you being so rude?
He was so
This
mad.
girl has no idea what's going
I
on.
wrote Patros as an angry elf.
That's crazy. I'm like, everybody needs to like simmer down. I know this is a big deal, but this girl's like, I've been homeless my whole life.
Yeah.
I've been abused.
Yeah.
You guys took me from my house and I don't know why.
That's what was crazy.
Or
Is that
not
they were
my
all like
house.
blaming her for being there when like she was literally yoinked. So I think we might have both missed something, or this is just something that's not in there, which it's fine either way.
Yeah.
But it's genuinely that she's getting blamed for getting dragged there against her will.
Yes.
And I'm like, what is the miscommunication that I missed? Because that clearly something's going on here. And they're
Well,
just like,
but I
yeah.
think that's part of it though, is the whole time she's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. And they're all like, yeah, you do. You know. And she's like,
You
no,
know.
I don't.
Yeah. Charon the entire time.
Yes.
Charon, sorry. That's how I guess I have to pronounce it. Yeah.
She's
it's
like-
just going, you know exactly what
And
you're
she's like,
doing. And he's
no,
just like, get away from me.
Don't.
Stop sending me eyeballs.
It's crazy.
I like to think of Charon and Augustus as like a cat that you let go outside and they bring you like dead birds as gifts.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Which,
You know that?
which, what the fuck is all that?
Apparently it's like a gift that they're gatherers or something like that. When cats do it, it's like supposed to be that they hunted this and they brought it back so that you'd be happy.
Love. I meant the book.
Oh, my bad.
But thank you for the science.
I think it's the same mindset. You like?
Probably.
This guy kissed you,
That's
so
so
I gave
funny.
you his lips.
No, I meant like what the fuck do you mean about all of these men that are so scary and are like so obsessed with her? I'm like, what's going on?
Classic.
Which I guess now, no, still, I don't know. It's so it is so classic.
I don't know.
But anyways, Miss Girl's training, and they're being so crazy to these initiates,
Mhm.
making them like run through mountains
It
and
felt like
swim.
frat hazing, you know?
Yes.
It's like, this is
And the way they
initiation
like
time.
starve them for like 2 weeks.
Like, you won't die. I'm like,
Okay, but I won't be happy.
I wrote down, because they're like, all right, the first class is going to be theoretical math principles and stuff like that.
I
I'm
would
like,
die.
Kill me. I'm
Yeah,
done.
immediately done.
I'm sitting there like, I'm going to be the bottom of every single one. I'm going to have to run the crucible. Is that what they called it? Is that what it was called?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
something like that. I'm done for.
Literally, I highlighted the part where she's like, lead the class through their first round of the circuit, and you might
Circuit,
want
that's
to advise your mentee about paying attention in class. He's a fucking imbecile. And I put, well, this sucks. Math and running.
Yeah.
You guys
I'm
know.
done for. I
Like, catch me anywhere else. If I were her, I'd be like, Nyx,
That's
take
it.
me out right
yeah.
now.
I'd be sitting there like,
Which also, Nyx, girl, love you so bad. She's so funny talking about all of this. She's like, oh, I would climb him. Like, I'm talking about the
Yeah.
people and the goats and everybody. I was so
picturing
obsessed.
such the wrong voice until she started talking like that. Just being like,
Mm.
I'm going to fuck the shit out of him. I'm like, girl,
so
what? You're a
funny.
snake. Calm down.
It's so funny. But girl, maybe give your Miss Girl a break and don't hang on her as she's trying to run and
Mhm.
swim and everything.
I did think, because all the Spartans have their own little animal protector type
Right.
of thing that they can get.
Which,
I started to think that Nyx was
What?
hers.
but that's what she said. She's like, at the beginning of the book, she's
Yes.
like, are you mine? And she's like, no, I'm not yours. I'm someone else's.
Okay, see, I wrote that down right before they decided that. Because like when she was going through her thing, and I was like, oh, and she can understand them. I think everyone else can understand their animals. And what I'm thinking here is Nyx is her animal protector, and she just doesn't know it yet, or something. And they're like, no, I'm not yours. I'm like, oh, never mind. All right, she's
You're
Medusa.
like 2 seconds later.
Yeah,
immediately
literally.
corrected.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so she's Medusa's probably. That's my bet.
What?
Sorry, spoilers. That's just a theory of mine. I think she's Medusa's animal guardian because Medusa is locked up in Tartarus right now, or whatever. Yeah,
Oh. Okay, so
the
here's
underworld, whatever
my
it's called.
lore question, and maybe
Yeah.
I just wasn't paying
Go
attention
ahead.
enough. So, Hercules.
Hmm.
Is she literally Hercules?
From mythology?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
because she was born in modern day Montana, if that makes sense.
Well, yes. Well, yes.
Yeah.
So Hercules already happened.
or it never happened, and this is kind of an alt universe with like a lot of liberties taken to things. Like, I don't think Patroclus and Achilles are part of their history, if that makes sense. You know, I think it takes the general idea of the Olympians and those stories,
I'm following.
and then
Just resetting
just
it here.
resets.
So
it
in
for
that
kind of
case,
a
she
new
is
universe.
Hercules.
Yeah, she is. Well, because Hercules is technically the son of Zeus.
Zeus, right?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, huh.
Hmm.
Which I mean,
That was a good twist. Yeah. Spoilers that Hades and Persephone, she's her kid.
yes. Which, I mean, that is kind of fun. I mean, as someone who's seen the Disney film Hercules, I was like, well, that makes sense because she's like taken from, or
Yeah,
he's
they kinda
taken.
did the
I'm like,
same
oh, okay, I see, I'm following. But then when it was the Hades and Persephone, I was like, wait, I'm so, which I think we'll learn more about later.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, what?
They kind of throw that in the last second as if we were supposed to have known that all along.
In a way that I'm not mad, in a way that I'm like, where is this going?
Yeah.
You know.
Now that's why another reasons why I'm like, now I gotta wait a year for the next one.
I know,
Cool.
and
Thanks
I'm
for
gonna have
that,
to
guys.
repeat it right before this comes out because yikes.
So in the family tree that they have at the start of the book, you
Right.
can see that Hades and Persephone have a dead heir.
Yes, I
Essentially,
recall
because
that.
they
Yes.
thought she was dead. She
And
was
it's
kidnapped,
her.
taken away.
Period.
Personally, I'm a Greek mythology purist at my heart, and
Well.
the name Hercules comes from the Greek name Heracles, which he
Yeah.
was named so that Hera wouldn't kill him because Zeus cheated to have him.
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
I knew the Heracles thing. I didn't know the name of
Mhm. He was
How
like, "Hey, maybe you
interesting.
won't kill him if I name him
the name
after,
after
you.
you.
If I named my bastard after you, would
Listen,
you be down, baby?"
The Greek
What's up?
gods, y'all were fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But I kind of live like I don't. It's so juicy.
POV, you're a woman in ancient Greece, and a goose walks by you and gives you an eyebrow raise. Zeus would turn into birds and go down and
I
fuck.
was like, I
For
don't
context, Zeus liked to
understand.
turn into birds and hit on the mortal women, and he did that
Okay.
a lot.
As a bird, and so you're like, oh, to the bird.
They never they don't ever specify that he shapeshifted back into like a.
What the
human
fuck?
form. They just say like in the form of an eagle he appeared, and then Hercules was born. You're like, wait a minute,
What?
what happened in between there? Please tell me he turned back into just a dude.
What? That is.
Please tell
so
me
whack.
these women aren't just out here fucking birds.
So where I was with this was with the Knicks thing. I was thinking that maybe
It's all about the Knicks, baby. It's not about the money, Spider-Man. Have you not seen that meme?
no.
Sorry.
I was thinking that maybe she was the Blood of Hercules, that she was like the daughter of Hercules.
Yeah, I was thinking something.
You know,
like
and so
that,
I was like, oh, that's Hercules'.
Mhm.
That's what I was maybe thinking.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh wait, nor.
Nar. Yeah.
Which I like that it surprised us.
Yeah, I was
You know what I
definitely like,
mean?
I don't know what's happened. Like in the synopsis, they explain who she is, but even then, I was still surprised at the end of it. I was like, oh, word, all
I
right.
didn't even read the synopsis. I went in so blind.
That's what made me want to read it. I was like, oh, she's like, I thought she was like a reincarnation of Hercules or something
Yeah.
like that. That's not it at all.
That's really cool.
So,
Anyways, so she's at this academy situation,
mhm.
getting her ass fucking handed to her and kicked and all of the
Yeah.
above. She's the only girl, drama. I would KMS immediately. And do you want to talk about Augustus?
Augustus
who is
Gloop.
Patroclus' brother. Patroclus' brother.
No,
Oh.
kind of.
What?
I
Yes,
think
they are.
They're half siblings
Okay.
because Augustus is a full-blooded heir.
They're still brothers.
Yeah, but one of them is a mutt. Patroclus is a mutt.
Yes,
meaning
but
that he's
you're
not
still brother.
full-blooded.
Half brother,
they're-
you're still brothers.
Yeah, there's a hierarchy though.
And then and Helen's their sister.
No.
Yes.
No. Not
Yes!
Exactly. Not exactly. Not exactly. Hold on. I'm pulling up the family tree. Page 1. Here we go. Hold on. What else
We're
did she
going.
write? The Cruel Shift verse by Jasmine Mas.
Yeah, I saw that.
Psycho Shifters, Psycho Fae, Psycho Beasts, Psycho Academy, Psycho Devils, Psycho Gods. All right, so next up, I know what we're going to be reading.
Crazy. Okay, I got
My
it.
apologies.
So
All
I got it
yeah,
right here.
I got it right here. No, I got it right here.
Okay, go ahead.
So, yeah, no. Helen and Augustus are not related. Helen is a daughter.
Yes, they are.
Oh yeah, Ares and Aphrodite. Yeah, sorry, different thing right there. My bad. All right, you were right about this one.
We each got one.
All right, so the House of Artemis
Yes.
is Charon, even though it is pronounced Charon. Just saying.
Okay.
Sorry, he's a Karen. I hate to say it. He asks to speak to the manager whenever somebody talks to his beloved.
Work.
And Medusa is Artemis and a Gorgon, and I think Nyx is Artemis's animal protector.
I thought
because
you
she's-
said it was Medusa's.
What did I say?
You said Medusa earlier.
What did I
now
say
you
just
just said
now?
Artemis.
No, sorry, I meant Medusa. I think Nyx is Medusa's animal protector because she's always defending Medusa, being like, "That's not what happened."
I
see. And Snake, Medusa, you know,
Yeah.
obviously. House of Aphrodite has Patroclus and a human, and then Aphrodite and Ares is Helen. So Helen is like pure-blooded, essentially.
Right.
To go to Dramione lingo,
LOL.
a pure blood, half blood. That's the difference.
Okay, I'm following.
Yeah. Achilles is Ares and a human, so once again he's a mutt, and then Ares and Aphrodite is Augustus. That's why he's so beautiful and deadly. That's it.
Makes sense.
Cool. I'm with it.
Yeah, so they
There we go.
are siblings in some way or another.
Yes.
Yes. Her. And Augustus is one of the professors and is like,
He's got a little raccoon buddy with him.
what do you mean you're a raccoon named Paco? Paco? I was like, this is so wacky dacky.
That's what I mean. I was
Oh,
like,
God.
okay, so we're just doing whatever. That's
yes.
anybody who
A raccoon?
I know a lot of our like clips get clipped out of context and stuff like that, and people are like, well, if you didn't like it, why are you even reading? I'm like, I didn't say I didn't like it.
No, I loved
just
it.
laughed
I
at
loved it.
It's great. We
Which I
can't
think-
laugh at something
I
we
mean,
like.
Jasmine has a sense of humor. Clearly, that's what this whole book
This is just a
is.
silly vibe.
Yes.
No, there was nothing dark and daunting that I was like, I
You're not
can't
gonna-
fathom.
You're not going to make this tough guy's animal companion be a raccoon if you're not trying to be a little
raccoon,
silly.
Yeah, it's biting his little ponytail. I'm like, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be laughing a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? You're going for a chuckle.
I love it. So yeah, they're put through the ringer. People are kind of dying. It's
Yeah.
drama. And at one point they're doing the circuit, as their punishment. And they're like swimming, and
Charon
is there with
little
his
fairy.
glowing eyes.
He's like,
Yeah. And she's like
you what I see.
she's like, what the fuck? And then there's a guy next to her and he starts to die. He's like whatever, dying.
Mhm.
And she's like, what are you doing to him? Like she thinks it's him, but he's looking at her like,
Bitch,
what are you
this is
doing?
you. What do you mean?
yes.
What are
And
you
she's
doing
like,
to him?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But she's like, thinks that he killed whatever.
Yeah, when we get his POV after that,
Mhm.
I'm so confused. So the book does a really good job keeping you kind of in the dark, but making you think that you kind of know
I
what's going
agree.
on.
Yeah.
I figured out pretty early on that I guessed that it was her blood when it touched his hand. That
I had no
killed him.
idea.
I was like, no, her blood touched his hand. It might be something like that. And I thought that other boy was chthonic too, because she was like, he's chthonic, and he's like, I'm not chthonic. My power is that I can just run really far.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, word. So that's when it also clicked back to confirm my theory that, oh, no. Okay, so Charon was right. It
Yeah.
is ...
And the whole time, like Patroclus and Achilles, well, I mean mostly Patroclus because Achilles doesn't talk, is like being all intense with her about surviving, whatever. And she's like, oh, it's because they don't want to get in
Patroclus
trouble.
and Achilles, yeah. They're chthonic. And
they're like,
get
no!
promoted- And it's like,
I'm
no
like-
chthonic lives are supposed to be at risk. And she's like, I know, because they are. And it's like, bitch.
I think everyone would just really benefit from just talking to each other.
That's through and through. Just speak one-on-one.
Just talk.
That's
Yeah.
all you have to do.
Uh,
I going just back to the Charon chapter.
Mhm.
I didn't need this as my first impression of him, but he was all like, I have to readjust this bulge in my pants. I was like, bro, it's your first POV. Calm down. Calm down. You're just on a boat with your dogs. Put your bulge away.
Your
Stop.
skeleton dog.
Put your bulge. I literally wrote, put your bulge away, bro. It's too early for that. It's too early to be doing that.
So funny. It's crazy.
Yeah. The first time she goes back to Corfu with Achilles and Patro.
Yeah.
Does Achilles have a jaguar or a wolf? I can't remember.
Girl.
One of them has a jaguar, one of them has a wolf. That's
Yeah.
the premise.
Yeah.
Nyx is looking at the jaguar like, I'm gonna fuck this jaguar.
I know. It's crazy.
Did you see those thighs? And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, okay, so a snake and a jaguar walk into a bar. Hear me out.
It's so funny.
That's
I
kind of
love
great.
it. I love it. And also we start to realize that Miss Girl has like her power, which she thinks it's her like. So does she have multiple powers then? She must.
Her Persephone is part creature.
Oh, so that's why she
So
can speak
that might be
to.
something.
Yeah.
other sentient beings.
Yes, she can speak. Like she's like a Google Translate in a person,
hmm
which is pretty cool.
I thought it was so cool when the sirens were talking to her because she goes to the like the orgy.
the orgy.
whatever it
I was
is.
like, this. Oh, what?
That was a really tame orgy, all things considered.
I mean, yeah, but I was shocked it was happening.
Yeah,
I
so-
shouldn't have been though, considering Greek. But
Yeah. They're like, nobody can understand the sirens, blah, 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 blah. And they go into that whole thing. They have their own language, then they can't speak anything else. So
Yeah.
they're the playthings of the Spartans. But they're okay with it, I guess. I'm like, all right, that's
Whoa,
there's some subtext to get into there, but okay. We don't have time to go
She
into all
immediately
of that.
just starts yapping with them.
Yeah,
I was like,
and they're just like, I think she's laughing at us. And she's like, no, I'm not. You're good. And I'm just sitting there like, wait, that's a siren talking. What do you mean you can understand? And then the siren gets it right after like, oh,
it's so cute.
you understand me. She's like,
Yeah.
I can understand you.
Love.
And it's just her with a bunch of naked sirens in a booth playing cards or whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, this man next to me's thigh is pressed against me so hard, and I'm so afraid.
Dude, he did not deserve to catch that stray. That he got Charon like guts him, slits his throat, peels his eyes out,
Yeah.
gives her his hands. And I'm like, bro was just looking out for her because like all you
know.
guys were running in all angry and like threatening to kill her. I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he deserved all that to happen to him, but like he was touching you. And it's like he very clearly offered, was like, oh hey, do you
Also-
want to have sex? And she was like, no. He's like, okay.
Yes. Also, look at where they are. I mean, of
It's like-
course
he was
that
like-
is going to
hey,
be offered.
how's it going? Yeah. So you were saying that like you hadn't before. Do you wanna? Like I'm down. And she's
Yeah.
like, I'm okay. And he's like, okay.
Wild.
Moves on with his life.
So wild.
Word. I just
And who comes and gets her? She's
I-
about to take off her toga.
Augustus ends up grabbing her and throwing her over his
Yes.
shoulder. Yeah.
The whole time I was like, what is this dynamic with Augustus? I felt like I couldn't figure it out.
I just knew that he was like down bad from the get go.
Right, but I'm like,
once again, it's
what?
the meme when they see a 19 to 24-year-old who's never showered in their life.
But I just was like, I'm so confused as to what's going on. Like, you're so mean. And I'm
Yeah.
like, huh? And then the Tron, I did not expect that it would end up the way that it did. Because
Yeah.
I was like, okay, there's
Love polygamy.
4 and then there's 1. I don't know what's gonna happen here. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that it would have ended the way that it did. You know? Crazy.
Yeah.
So he's yanking her out of the orgy,
Yeah.
and then a girl's like dying, and she's like, "What is that?" He's like, "Don't worry about it."
And it's because her blood got on her. Yeah.
Yes, which I thought that reveal was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And also, is it Hades who has the power that when he like uses his like fog or whatever, it reminds you of all of the things that you've done,
Yeah.
the worst things that you've done.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you're realizing she's reliving those, and like when it counts through all of them, I was like, that's really fierce.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
Sorry, I
it does
jumped
go
ahead.
surprisingly like full circle. Like I wasn't expecting that level of surprise.
I wasn't
for this one.
either.
I was like, maybe I'm just dumb, but also I was like, no, I like this. This was good. This caught me off guard.
Yeah. Also, the phrase "aggressive copulation" sent me to the moon.
There were
That
a lot
is
of
so
things,
funny.
I just it was good.
Yeah.
Um,
And also, that's when we find out that Mr. Man is the pianist.
yes, that Charon is very good
Yeah.
with his fingers. Good to know. Wanted to talk about while he was playing the piano because we get another Charon chapter right after that. And he's like kicking people away because they're crawling towards him while he's
Yeah.
playing the piano because they just want him so bad. And there's another moment where I'm just like, bro, how does this work? He's like, he loosens his belt to release the pressure in his pants. And I'm like, that's not how belts work. What do you mean? The belt is up here. Why is your belt like causing? Maybe he's just packing that much. But
Oh,
I'm
dear
just like,
God.
I don't know why. Solomon, can you attest this? Does
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
if you were to does loosening the belt release the pressure in your pants?
I don't want to hear any more of this. Let's move on,
The,
please.
the answer is probably yes.
Probably. I don't know. Maybe it's just I wear belts differently. I don't
Maybe
know.
there's something interesting about you,
No.
sir.
Maybe there's something interesting. I don't know.
Well, you know, if you're aroused, it goes in a different direction. So.
Oh, if he's
yes.
sitting. Oh, I didn't think about how he was sitting. Yeah, I could just. Yeah. No. Okay. No. I see. I was just thinking, just like down a pant leg. or
Let's
something
move
like that.
on.
Okay. Sorry. My bad. There's a lot of bird slander in this book. Like she just fucking hates birds,
So valid.
and I was just like, girl, what do you what
So,
what,
I
who-
don't
what
like
hurt you?
birds.
Have you heard the government drone
Yes,
theory?
I have.
Okay, good.
And she's like, yeah, they're yeah. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, I don't know if our international viewers will get this, but there's a bit, at least in America, I know,
Mm-hmm.
that birds are just government surveillance drones,
Yeah,
and whenever
like
you see them on a
Pigeons.
pigeons, any bird, honestly,
They're just like watching us.
if you just see anytime that you see them like perching on a tree or on like a power line, it's because they're recharging,
yeah.
and birds aren't real.
No, birds.
You've never seen a bird
real.
sleep; they're not real.
That's crazy.
That's the vibe.
Okay, and then there's also the thing about having to bond with a creature.
Yeah.
And they like
Finds this
send them
little
into
rat
this
dog
like
thing.
zoo and they're like, okay.
What do you think her little rat dog thing is?
I think it's a Pegasus.
You think it's a Pegasus?
Yes, because she says at the end of it that it's growing to the size of a horse
I thought it was a chimera.
with lumps. That's a good one too.
I thought it was a chimera because it's like a weird little creature thing that's
Yeah.
sticking. It's like vicious too with like teeth.
Yeah.
So I was like, chimera maybe.
Yeah, I only got to the Pegasus because she said the word horse. She was like,
Mhm.
it's turning in the size of a horse and it has lumps on it.
Whose
so I'm
horse
like, oh,
is that?
whose horse is that? So I'm like, oh, maybe those are the wings that are like growing out
Okay.
weird.
Yeah, I
But it
think
could
the
be.
Pegasus would be pretty cool.
Yeah. That's what
Um,
I thought. Especially, I mean, from my knowledge from the Disney film Hercules, I was like, oh, Pegasus.
She goes back to Corfu after another part, and that's when she first sees Patroclus and Achilles going at it.
Yeah.
And Patroclus is just
Say your bit
okay.
that you said yesterday.
What I wrote in all caps was,
Twice.
"Whoa, Patro and Achilles, get a room." Then I remembered this is technically their house, so
Yeah.
she needs to. They're on their own little dock
Yeah.
down there, and good. One of them has a muzzle, one of them doesn't. The one without a muzzle is putting that mouth to a lot of use. I just wanted to ask
Mm-hmm.
everyone if anyone can consider this as well. So Patroclus is the only one who can remove Achilles' muzzle because Achilles' power is, I guess, like something with his voice that's
Mhm.
too overpowering.
Excited to see that eventually.
Yeah, we'll see what that's all about.
Mm-hmm.
So he can only remove it when absolutely
With
necessary.
my voice.
So what I want to know is what constitutes absolutely necessary? Just what he thinks is? Because personally, I think getting head from your boy absolutely necessary. Solomon's nodding. He's like, yeah, no, I'm with
I'm flipping him off.
You were nodding. I saw you in the background. They're like, no. You see the mind. You see the thought process, right? Like, how can you be trusted like that? It's like, yeah, no, hold on. We're taking this off tonight. Every night, that mask is coming off, Achilles. I hate to tell you.
I love though the way she's like, what could they possibly be doing?
I don't
Like,
know, Alexis.
diva.
What do you think they're
I was
doing?
like, diva.
Asexual queen.
I
What do you
know.
think they're doing right
Oh
there?
man, so funny. And then shit starts getting even more real with their like crucible situation.
Yeah, they're getting down. People.
Yeah,
What
people
was
are
it?
dying.
Titus that just hated her. Titus was
Maximus?
no. Titus was
Oh yeah.
just like a kid
Yes.
in the class because you always gotta have that one just next level hater.
Yeah.
I wrote down because Titus was always going to like a mutt like you doesn't belong here or something. They're all mutts. I'm like, all right, man. I don't.
Yeah, relax.
Women shouldn't be in the crucible. I'm like, bro, how do you have the energy for this?
And
You
I know
haven't
he's
eaten in-
ugly.
you haven't eaten in 2 weeks or slept. Like, how do you
Yeah.
have the energy to still be this mean? I would just.
Redirect it to
How
your
do you
inner
do
work,
anything more
please.
than this? Like when you haven't eaten, just like fuck you.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine
Yeah.
the sexism driving that man.
It's crazy.
next level.
Yes.
I'm kind of impressed with it.
I knew you were
If anything, I have to support that level of it.
No.
You haven't eaten in 2 weeks. Your best friend just died next to you, and you're still like, I'm gonna hate women right
Oh
now.
my god.
What are we doing with ourselves, guys?
Oh man. That's so funny.
Yeah, I wrote, how the fuck do you have that much energy to be sexist?
It is quite shocking. And she forms that cute alliance with that Drex guy.
Yeah.
Also, what also sent me was the way she would be like, oh, like she would say something about Charlie, and all four of them would be like, who the fuck is Charlie?
Who's Charlie, he's Bella Swan's dad from Twilight. Relax.
Oh, baby. But it's like, bruh.
You can't compete with him.
He's her brother. Let
her
everybody
brother, yeah.
relax.
Didn't they say at the end that like they knew that
Like,
it
then
was
why
the
were you
brother?
all
Like Augustus,
screaming?
why were you pointing a gun at him, bro? Chill.
This
Oh my
poor
God.
kid was like, oh, who's been abandoned by
Why are
his only
you
sister.
sleeping with him? It's like, oh my God.
It's so
They're
funny.
siblings and cuddled up for warmth. Chill, bro. I kind of got the ick for them with that level of jealousy. I was kind of like, all right.
Yeah, no, I was like, this
Like,
is a lot
Yeah.
happening right
I was
now.
like, you can kill that male siren and Maximum who ends up like kissing her a little bit. I'm like, yeah, sure. Kill them, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna knock the BookTok girlie's love of that level of dark romance.
Right.
But her brother, bro, chill. It's seeming insecure now.
So bananas.
Now it's insecure.
And then slowly occasionally she's getting notes of being like, if you don't leave,
Yeah.
it's gonna end badly.
Yeah,
and
this
she's
part
like,
of the plot was like,
okay.
all right.
yeah.
It was Zeus's heir Theros.
Which that shocked me.
I just wrote, okay.
Yeah. That shocked me because when they're at their ball, which I thought that was so clever, their like ball thing.
Masquerade.
And the way they all were wearing like stuff that has to do, I don't know much about Greek mythology, but what I do know, like the like Easter eggs in there, like Helen wearing the elephant mask, and I was like, oh, that's cute, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was super fun. And she starts dancing with or having
Charon and
whatever.
Augustus.
And Augustus, which they had said like, oh, sometimes we like to share. And I was like,
I was sitting there, I was like, Alexis, you better start locking the fuck in. You better start.
Which I'm not sure. And you kind of said this yesterday. I'm not too sure how I feel about it because on the one hand, I'm like, she seems down. But on the other hand, I'm like, she seems not down.
Yeah, she was too non-enthusiastically consenting for it, if that makes sense. Like there was too much, like, especially in the final chapter after their wedding where they quote unquote kiss the bride. She's very clearly like, no, stop, hold on.
Yes, and so I'm a little bit like,
I hope I missed something, because that's the only thing where I'm just like, okay.
I mean, she was like, I don't know.
She went for it,
Yeah.
I think.
But I was like,
But like she passed out because she was panicking from it. So I'm like, all right.
yeah.
Clearly we didn't match the vibe here, guys. You got to
Right.
take a step back, like discuss, and then like go at it from a different angle if we're doing this.
Yeah, kind of bonkers. But so yeah, and he like kidnaps her and Helen, and she like saves him. It was kind of like the way when she was like
snaps
hitting
her
her
fingers
wrist.
stuff like that. Yeah, because she did it when she was a kid.
Yeah, and like the bones jutting out. I was like, this is so gross.
It's great.
It's so
I
gross.
love that.
And they're like, who are you? Like I'm like, oh my
She's
god.
like him.
To have the two of them, like, I'm like, that's great. Well, four of them. I'm like, this is a lot. Miss Girl must be so overwhelmed.
She should be. I would be too. Honestly,
That's why she keeps passing.
I
out all
wrote
the
this
time.
down. Like, if I were just another initiate, I'd be so pissed at Alexa. So I kind of get where Titus is coming from, just for the wrong motivation. Because like, her professors are very clearly giving her preferential treatment the entire time. Just like, hold on, cradle her and take her to the fire. I'd be like, yo,
Yeah,
I want
when you, like,
Augustus to do that for me. Hold on, what are you doing here? I'm like, yeah. What's going on here, guys?
Right.
Why does she get that?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, cradle me next.
Yeah, that's
I
a
need
little
some
bonkers.
cuddles right now, Augustus. You and Poco, come here.
So insane. And yeah, they like kick some ass, and then it's revealed who she is.
Hercules.
Yeah, and then it's also revealed like her power that it's her blood.
Blood kills immortals.
I was like, okay,
But
that's
they
pretty
lie and
fierce.
they just say it can hurt
Yeah,
immortals because nothing can kill an immortal. They have to scatter them and put them into comas.
right.
So
I was
she
like,
can kill immortals.
this is about to be drama. I fear.
Yeah, it ends right when I'm like interested in what's gonna be happening next. I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah,
Come back.
and
What are we
also
doing?
she bonds with that weird animal thing.
The rat dog thing. I just pictured
Fluffy
a little
Junior.
ratty Pomeranian.
That's exactly what I pictured too. But they're like, oh, 'cause we need to set up a marriage for her. This all was like, huh? We need to set up a betrothal situation in there, and then two step forward. Well, she already has been betrothed to us,
She already accepted our betrothal gifts. She wore our clothes and accepted our jewelry.
and she's like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Yeah,
you
I'm
guys
sitting
need
there
to
like,
spell it
I don't
out
think
for
that
her.
holds out in court. I'm gonna be honest.
This bitch is from Montana. She doesn't know any of this. I was like, huh? And they're like, girl, you accepted the gift. She's like, I don't even know any of this at all. That was so bonkers. But I did live. Like, I'm saying it was so bonkers. I hope that it's clear that I did live, laugh, and love. But I was just like feeling for her. I'm like, girl, I'd be like, everybody needs to tell me everything. Like, speak so plainly to me right this moment.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. When they're still at the masquerade ball, and right after she does her little squish between two hot hunky men dance that she does, and then her math teacher also comes up like, "Oh, can I have a dance?"
Yeah.
Hey. So now that I'm not your professor, I was like, "Bro,
It's crazy.
just leave her alone."
This poor
And he gets a knife to his
girl.
throat. And I was like, "Hey, he was asking the most normal way, guys.
Right.
Calm down."
This poor girl is like, she's just going through it. And has men all over her. And she's like,
She's genuinely just like, I gotta stop.
she's like, I'm trying to figure out what ways
And
up
Nyx
and down.
the whole time is like, every single time she has an interaction with Augustus, she's like, he hates me, and she's like, he hates that he's not fucking you right now. Let me tell you that.
I love her.
It's just so funny that I
This
was
whole
just sitting there
book.
like, no, Nyx is right. No, they
Yeah.
want to take you to France.
Oh
Eiffel
God,
Tower.
I got it.
Yeah, there we
it.
go.
Yeah. So then they get married, all three of them, which I was like,
And Patra and Achilles are now down for her too. They're like, you weren't what we were expecting you to be.
okay, yeah.
Achilles
what?
agrees. Blah blah blah, and then they get stopped right before because they have to like
They're like,
step
yeah,
aside for their quote unquote superiors.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're just like, she is ours. She just doesn't know it yet. But he signs that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the way that like, so it ends with like Patroclus and Achilles being like, we're gonna go get her.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so confused. Not confused.
She is gonna have
I'm just like, okay, so who's the bad guy here?
Theros.
Well,
Just
no.
the white man.
Well, yes. Well, yes. But I'm like, are they the like?
I
would
feel
you
like
say that Augustus and Charon are the villains? Because I don't think I would.
By the end, they kind of feel like they were. I didn't think it was gonna take it in that direction. But she like doesn't like them by the end of it. And I'm like, oh.
I know. I'm a little bit like, what's gonna happen? I'm excited.
I'm interested. I'm intrigued.
Which I think we're supposed to be like, what is happening? You know? I mean, and then we'll ponder this for a year, and then
funny, but not funny. Haha. Funny, weird.
Yeah, it's an interesting moment, but I did really love it.
I did like it a lot too. This is one moment that I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember from When the Moon Hatched? I mentioned that earlier, and it reminded me how every other chapter in When the Moon Hatched, Rave is just like, and my massive tits are just getting squished into this this outfit.
Yes.
This book had the opposite, where she was just like, and I grabbed the smallest bra size because I have absolutely no tits whatsoever. Yep.
Yeah.
And she just every other page, she's just like, once again, tiny tits.
Helen's like, yeah, this doesn't look good on you because you're flat as a board.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. Everyone's just gunning for her. It's like, you're going to look great in this. Representative of the itty bitty titty community. Yeah. Free the nips and lips lower.
This book was so fun.
That was such a funny repetitive quote that they had in there.
It was so good. I really enjoyed this. I've read a few like Greek retelling books.
Mm-hmm. Song of Achilles and
Song of Achilles. Circe. Yeah. Ariadne, and I love all of them. And so I'm like, is this a thing? Except I didn't really live for neon gods. This is more my gag.
Yes.
You know, like I think that this.
I was expecting. It was a lot tamer than I thought it was going to be. Like I was expecting more neon gods level of. Were they gonna be fucking in this?
Yeah,
like, they went to an orgy and nothing happened almost.
Yeah,
And I was like, oh, all right, we got out of there scot free.
Yeah, she was more. This is more plot.
Right. Apart from their final kiss, which even that kiss was pretty tame.
Yeah.
Even though there was a lot of things going on right there, I was like, this is the last chapter. They're gonna go all the way, and they didn't. I was like, oh,
I know.
We made it through this book without anything happening.
Not much smut.
Okay.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it, and I think that I think Greek retellings are a fun little genre.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's why I'm working on one.
Work. I love it. Yeah, it's so good.
Good times. I enjoyed it.
Kind of all I got.
Anything with Greek mythology, sign me up.
Yeah, it's so you coded.
More and more. What do you mean by that?
You're Greek.
Racist. I'm just kidding.
Work. It's like
work. Should we talk about what we're doing next?
Yes.
We've been kind of vibing through this one. This was an easy read. This was a fun time. We hope you enjoyed.
I adored this one.
Blood of Hercules. Bonds of Hercules comes out soon, and then Psycho Shifters verse. You're coming soon. I'm looking into what's going on. I
know. With her writing style, like I'm sure anything that she's gonna write is gonna be so fun.
I like this.
Yeah. So next, I think we're gonna do. I don't know who the author is.
In honor of Thanksgiving and coming together with family, we're, that
was an interesting sentence.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's gonna be a lot that's happening in this next one. It's called Credence.
We're doing Credence by Penelope Douglas.
If anyone knows what that's about,
nope. I kind of was like, what if we did something really crazy? Like, because I feel like a lot of the books that we've done recently have been a little bit, like super fantasy.
Yeah,
or
plot
heavy. And so we're doing a pure blood. Well, I shouldn't have said that, but a full, unlike that, that's giving Harry Potter, but a full house down boots smut book.
Mm-hmm. Just in time for Thanksgiving.
Just so wholesome and lovely for your family.
Mm-hmm. Plenty of wholesomes.
There it is. I've never read anything Penelope Douglas, but I do know people live.
I'm
so
exciting. I read a brief synopsis of what it was about. I read Step Uncle and I closed it and I was like, well, hold on. We'll hold off on that. And then
I'm excited.
We're going to do it instead.
Let's do it. Okay.
There we go.
Read along if you'd like to.
Yeah, join the book club.
The
Smut Couch.
Love.
Fun times.
Thank you all, as always, for everything.
Yes. Love you so bad. Working on some other things in the meantime. Hope to see you soon.
Yes.
And we'll see you for the next episode. Credence.
Bye.
Oh, you moved it. Hey, you changed it on us. It's that one now.